Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
Revolution.
First, what is a revolution?
Revolution is the solution, hey.
The motive of a revolution.
Well, now,
The objective of a revolution.
we televised.
And the result of a revolution. And the methods used in a revolution.
I know you know. Put my gun away. Never gonna put my gun away. Put my gun away. See the mob, you better run away.
This generation of Americans has already had enough, more than enough, of war and hate and oppression.
Hello, Internet. Well, we got a ton to get into tonight. I usually don't do streams 2 nights in a row, but the riots haven't stopped, so we're going to keep going. Well, I guess they've paused. They paused for temporary peaceful protest. I don't think because you get the protests during the day and then you get the rioting during the night, but they're kind of swimming all over each other now because you had those WAYMO cars lit on fire in broad daylight yesterday. You had I got a video of some dude shooting paintballs out of his car, hitting the good old ICE agent or somebody like right in the face. So that's interesting. Yeah, lots of crazy shit going on. So no rest for the wicked. I am back. Danger, nice to see you. What up, man? That's my buddy Lonnie, and we've been chatting leading up to this show, and I already had a stacked like full pack show ready to go, and he sent me some other stuff, so I had to pull that up too because it sort of leads into what I was talking about. That Indivisible organization that you sent me, Lonnie, I already had one thing pulled up on them, but I hadn't like looked into it too much. And of course, you sent me down a rabbit hole right before the show started. Wally World, nice to see you. All right, let's get right into it. So, I mean, we saw all the madness in LA last night. I had Tony Moon on, one of the original Rooftop Koreans from last night, though we had technical difficulties. It was still a fun conversation. And I didn't get a chance to really dive deep into what's going on in LA right now. Can you guys see my dog? Can you see her? Look at her. Look at her. What she does. The show starts. She decides to roll on her back and start kicking her legs around. You're distracting, Scarlett. Oh, geez. I wish you guys could see her right now. I got the cutest dog in the world, you guys. All right. Well, yeah, still just wild footage coming out of LA. I'm going to start off with probably like the highlights of the last couple of days. Highlights, if you want to call it that. Just crazy shit going on. So, yeah, let's get right into it, folks. So let's go over to I got Luke Radowski. He's got a clip that I want to talk about, and it was the one with that dude just straight up throwing rocks at the Border Patrol and ICE agents. So I'm sure you guys have seen this one. It's pretty gnarly. Like how brazen people have become is pretty insane. I apologize. My neighbor's riding his little mini dirt bike around out front. Yeah, so this footage is pretty crazy. I mean, would you expect this shit like 10 years ago where somebody could do this and get away with it? Those are rocks. Right on the windshield. Oh, I got that one with 2 of them. I mean, you guys. I mean, this is broad daylight, and you get tons of people like, stupid ass Harry Sisson talking about how these are peaceful protests. This is broad daylight. This is when the peaceful protests are supposedly taking place. And it's just, a handful of outliers at night that come out and start lighting trash cans on fire and looting businesses, But no, this is broad daylight. They're throwing, like, that could kill somebody. That could... Anyway, I don't need to tell you guys. This shit's insane. Keep going because I have tons of shit to get through. So I'm just going to try to plow through it as fast as possible. This is one of the scenes from last night, and this is just a perfect example of never let your enemy get the high ground, because they allowed them to take over this overpass here, and then they drove under it, and then they became trapped under the overpass.
They didn't expect it.
Get down! Get down!
Oh, he got fucked. Oh.
Like, look at this. These are pieces of cinder blocks that have been broken into places. Where did they get the cinder blocks? Now there's some clips going. There's one particular clip going viral showing a pallet, and they're like, "Where did it get here?" The thing that person fails to mention is that that's in the Home Depot parking lot. I saw somebody else saying that Home Depot is actually shutting down. It's scheduled to be closed, so they actually put that out there to block cars. I'm like, I don't know if it's real, but you still are getting pallets of bricks showing up places, and it's pretty sketchy. But I mean, these people on the overpass are throwing giant rocks straight down on cops' heads. That's attempted murder of a police officer. And Karen Bass is just like, no big deal. It's Trump's fault. Trump's the one making him so angry, just completely excusing this behavior.
Oh.
Madness.
Oh my God, he got fucked. Oh, he's fucked.
Oh yeah, he got hit hard right in the head. Right in the head with the giant rock. No big deal. No big deal, Karen Bass. And that's LAPD. That's not ICE. That's not the freaking National Guard. It's not the Marines. That's LAPD. So it's funny because Trump's in a you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't situation. In the summer of 2020, he held off on sending in the National Guard to Portland, because like the point that Gavin Newsom was making, you can't send them in without the city requesting it. And Portland was just, that was like 100 and something nights in a row of just laying siege to downtown Portland. They burned the federal building, the courthouse. They completely took the city over, and the city never requested the National Guard come in, even though the police were completely overwhelmed. The cops probably wanted them to call the National Guard in. Trump actually started deputizing either local sheriffs or Portland PD so they could arrest people. It was absolutely insane. And he did that because they were attacking the federal courthouse. That's how he was allowed to do it. That was actually a pretty smart strategic move. They're attacking the federal courthouse. That's federal property. They can arrest them federally. But since you don't have the National Guard there, you had to rely on the Portland police. So they deputized certain Portland police as federal police officers, which was pretty smart move. But if Trump doesn't call in the National Guard, it's look what's happening in Trump's America. And if he does call in the National Guard, Trump is stoking tensions in LA, and he's the one making everybody get so riled up and riot. He's in a you're damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So what's the guy going to do? He decided, like, gloves off. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm playing hardball now. And I'm a pretty anti-authoritarian person, so I'm not going to like cheer for either side. I'm just going to point out that it's absolutely insane. And what would I do if I was in Trump's position? I might do the same thing. I don't know, but we'll keep going here. Let's go over to Cam Higbee. This is just a quick clip of, I'm just going to run through a bunch of quick clips of like the most crazy shit that I saw, and then we'll get into some other things, rabbit holes that I went down. They're putting up chicken wire. Like, what is that supposed to do? I don't know. It's chicken wire. It's not like it's a spike strip. But okay, so this is like some of the media gaslighting that you have going on here too with this clip. So this is from Marco Foster. This is AB7 News. He said, yesterday in Los Angeles, the LAPD threw this guy on the ground multiple times, ran him over with the horses, and hit them with batons. These protests are peaceful, and Donald Trump's Gestapo are the ones trying to escalate things. So we'll play this video, and then I'll show you guys what really happened.
Continue to support peaceful protests and enforce the law when criminal acts occur. The LAPD remains focused on its core mission to protect lives, safeguard constitutional rights, and serve every neighborhood in Los Angeles with integrity.
Okay, so you saw those fireworks that just went off? it spooks the horses and they trampled him because he was there. It's not like they tried to get the horses to step on him. First of all, the horses got spooked by the fireworks that the protesters shot at the horses.
Let me open it up now for any questions you might have or any points that we can
Yeah, it kind of looked like that cop ran over him with the horse.
clarify.
Chief, the governor made a very strong statement that he did.
And I haven't seen him be hit with a baton yet. That one officer just hit his baton on the ground. He didn't hit the actual dude.
Believe the Trump administration needed to activate those National Guard troops.
Okay, torn back to the ground.
Giving
him a little, giving him a little George Floyd action there.
Yeah, if I don't know what basis they used to make that decision, but if that was based on our
Okay, so they notice how they clip it. They clipped that part of it. Now let's go to another clip of the same scene. So this is the exact same situation. I think it's the same angle, same helicopter angle. It just shows a little bit more of the clip to put it in perspective. Tell me what you guys see. Oh, look at that big thing of fire light up right next to the horses. Almost like somebody threw a bunch of gasoline and tried to light the horses on fire. So then they catch the guy that threw the gasoline and lit it on fire, and that's him. So that's what really happened. This guy wasn't just some innocent protester being all peaceful. He threw gasoline on the ground in front of the horse cops and then lit it on fire, and then people shoot off fireworks, spooking the horses, and that cop kind of looked like he tried to run him over on purpose. Can't say I blame him, though. I'm not on his side, but geez, it's just the way they portray things in the media. It's just always a false narrative. Always, every time. All right, let's keep going here. All right, so you guys saw the WAYMO cars being lit on fire. If you guys don't know what a WAYMO car is, some of you guys might be confused, like, what the hell is a WAYMO car? The model is a Jaguar car. It's a Jaguar electric vehicle outfitted with all these crazy cameras on it, and they are basically driverless taxis. They are deployed in San Francisco. They're also deployed in LA. I believe they're deployed in New York and probably some other cities. It was really weird the first time I saw them driving around in San Francisco. I was just like, wait a minute, hold on. That car's driving by itself, just driving all over the place. They've been rolling this thing out slowly over the course of years, but a bunch of them got lit on fire. Like 3 or 4 of them got lit on fire last night in the riots. So angry. Poor WAYMO cars. They didn't do anything to anybody. Do you guys think this thick black smoke coming off the electric vehicle is good for climate change? I'm just curious. Since it's an electric car, it's considered green energy, you guys. Is that that you, Mr. Bracco, Matty Bracco, some lawyer from California? Did you change your screen name? Johnny Cabs from Total Recall. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Johnny Cabs from Total Recall is. All I remember from Total Recall is the chick with the 3 tits. That's all I remember. I was a little kid when I watched it, and it kind of freaked me out. I wasn't too down with it. But that is all I remember from Total Recall was the chick with 3 tits. It was just weird. That was Total Recall, right? Three titty chick. That was Total Recall. Pretty sure. All right, let's keep going here. If you guys can't tell, I took some caffeine right before this episode started, so I am juiced. I am amped right now, you guys. Okay, Nick Sorter. This is just another scene. Same thing, pretty much. The WAYMO cars being lit on fire. Look what Trump did. Look what Trump did. Trump lit that car on fire. Man. Well, you guys get it. You guys get the scene. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm just trying to get through as many of the crazy clips from last night so we can get to the reactions of, Democrat political leaders, California political leaders, and particularly Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, see how it's being reported. And then we're going to talk a little bit about who's organizing all this and who's funding this and where are these pallets coming from? Where are these masks that are being handed out coming from? Yeah, because this isn't organic. Now, a lot of people are saying they're paid protesters. It's like, no. Like, was it organized by people that were paid and that get donations and that kind of thing? Are some of the protesters and agitators paid? Possibly. Probably. But all of them? Hell no. There's absolutely maniacs in LA that just want to burn shit to the ground, and they will find any excuse to go out and do so. You don't need to pay people to do this shit. So it's not all what it is there. It's not just paid protesters. Granted, this is not an organic movement.
Oh, damn.
So looting the AM, PM. I'm pretty sure this was from last night. This wasn't from 2020, but it could have been from 2020. But it doesn't really matter. People are playing clips from the 2020 riots in LA, and they're like, look at this is crazy. And then people are coming out and they're like, that's from 2020. It's like, you're not making the point you think you're making. You're just pointing out that you allowed your city to be burned to the ground in 2020 as well. This is not a sign of good leadership. Free Slurpees. Just casually taking shit out.
So everybody's hopping out to free beer. Poor guy. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, you can see the guy. Look at that's like the store owner. It's like that's just horrible. I mean, I'm pretty sure AMPM is franchised. That's just some store owner. You know, he pays a monthly or yearly fee so he can use the AMPM name, and this is his store. And they're just looting it, taking all his shit. Like he's the one deporting people. Looks like an immigrant himself. Like you guys aren't helping the situation here. All right, and this is cop cars getting I don't know if these got lit on fire, but they certainly got heavily damaged. So yeah, going after the cop cars. Madness. Absolute madness, folks. So this is in Compton. I thought they were just in downtown LA. I guess shit was happening in Compton too. Wow. All right, you guys. They're firing munitions at each other. The cops are firing pepper balls, rubber bullets, different types of less lethal rounds. And then the rioters are firing freaking fireworks at the cops. Like this is a battle scene, essentially. It's so insane. Those look like flashbangs. Man. Looks like that semi truck's on fire back there. So I guess that was in Compton, which is weird because I thought this was pretty much just downtown LA. One of the points that Tony Moon made last night is like, this is nothing compared to the 92 riots, because the 92 riots spread all the way out to like the greater Los Angeles County area. and you were getting smaller communities. Like that's why you got the roof Koreans, because they went into the Koreatown neighborhoods and they started looting those small businesses. And talked about it last night. The Sublime song talks about it pretty well. They talked about it. It was just an excuse to go out and loot and get a bunch of free shit. Granted, that is happening, but this seems to be on a much smaller scale. Even though these videos are, obviously crazy, it seems to be isolated to a pretty small area in downtown LA, even though this video appears to be out of Compton. But after I did my stream last night, I was watching for a couple of hours. I was watching this guy that was doing a live stream just driving around in LA. And you'd think like, wait a minute, he's driving around in LA last night? I thought the place was a war zone. It was a war zone in like a small few block radius. So if they can keep it contained to that small radius, that small area, this won't get crazy like it did in 92. The thing is, you're seeing direct action planning, like people coming in from out of town to go and sort of lay siege to LA. And this does have the potential to spread. And like the point I made to Tony Moon last night, if something happens where the LAPD or the National Guard or whoever else gets really overzealous and they beat somebody to death, we get a Rodney King incident, even though I don't think Rodney King died, right? Or you get a George Floyd type thing happen, or some sort of really horrific looking thing that everybody can point at and say, look how bad and evil the cops are. That's when I can see this thing absolutely exploding. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets to that point, and we'll keep going here. Next one. All right. So this is, they're just lighting cars on fire and shit, just more of the same types of scenes.
All right, and as we're looking at another one of these fires that has been set in downtown LA, this looks like a vehicle that's on fire. And I want to ask you what was asked of Chief McDonnell a couple of hours ago. Do you need the National Guard right now to quell this?
Anytime we ask for the National Guard, we go through a multi-step process. I'm going through that now. We obviously exhaust the resources from within the Sheriff's Department first. Then I start going to other agencies. That's exactly what I'm doing now. We have access to a lot of other law enforcement agencies. If at that time we still need additional resources, we will assess if we need to request the National Guard to come in here. We did that for the fires. Many of you saw that. It was very successful. And that is
What's the key difference there? The key difference is multi-million-dollar homes and super rich people's homes were burning to the ground. So that's why they called in the National Guard, because super rich people were getting looted. You saw people going in caravans driving into the neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods where everybody already evacuated, and they're breaking into homes and stealing items. That happened up here in the Santa Cruz Mountains as well back in 2020 when we had our fires. It happens every time there's fires and there's evacuations. People go and they loot the homes, but for some reason they're not going to be as quick to call in the National Guard on this one, because they're going to exhaust their resources first.
Tool in the toolbox that we're ready to use if necessary.
The last time, well, not the last time, but the last time it was for a law enforcement reason was during the unrest that occurred after the murder of George Floyd, and before that, 1992. And you go through those steps, and at the end of it, if things are still out of control, that's when you call the National Guard from a law enforcement perspective?
I wouldn't say, Mark, that we wait till it's out of control. We're continuously assessing what's going on.
It kind of looks out of control to me. I mean, as a bystander, that sort of looks out of control to me, but whatever. Okay. So this is actually from that stream I was watching last night. Shout out to LAOC TV. He's the stream I was watching, and I clipped this from his live stream, and he just came across this. So this was after the Adidas store and the Nike store were both looted. They set their targets on the T-Mobile store.
The dude's doing these.
I shall say, if you guys are watching, give the show a like, give the show a repost. If you're watching over on X, if you're watching on Rumble, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and please hit that subscribe button. I'm definitely trying to grow my YouTube channel, and it's been doing much better lately, believe it or not. So, yeah, if you guys are watching over on YouTube or on any platform, please go over to YouTube and subscribe. It would help me out a lot, and I appreciate you guys all for being here.
Take over things look scary. So they're, oh, I think they're looting that. Oh, yeah. I think they're trying to get into that T-Mobile. Oh, yeah, they are. They're breaking into this T-Mobile right here. Oh, shoot. They just got in. They're looting this T-Mobile store. Dude, that's bad. Can you hear it? Santa Monica, Gordon, code 3, incident 3776, RG6. Yeah, this just got super sketch right here.
DUI involved. Manchester and Fordham. Code 2, incident 3731 and RD 1474. In the town to identify.
And first, name and highway and first has been contained.
16, do you have a squad that can go?
Oh. Shoot, now they're shooting fireworks. Oh, damn. Damn.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you guys haven't seen structure fires yet, where they loot a building and then they shoot a bunch of fireworks into the building and light it on fire. I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. If things keep going the way they are, we will see that. It's Monday and things are still going crazy, and they have a direct act. So this weekend's supposed to be banana balls. There's supposed to be major protests in every city. They're being organized. Well, they're probably being organized by several different organizations, and there's like all these decentralized little factions, but there's this organization called Indivisible that we'll get into shortly here. But there's a lot of bad actors making a lot of effort to organize and fund these protests. When I say fund, I don't mean pay the protesters. I mean picket signs, masks that you see getting handed out. You'll see people handing out food and all sorts of stuff. And that's usually during the day for the protests. And then at night, things just pop off and go wild. So they're blaming Trump, and they say that Trump wants this to happen. This would happen whether or not Trump sent in the National Guard. They're all saying it's because of the ICE mass deportations and stuff. Well, they also created a situation where it's like, all right, do you either just allow 10 million illegal immigrants into the country and just say, well, they're here now, so we're not going to do anything about it? Or do you do the mass deportations? It's another you're damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So Trump decided to do the mass deportations. I wish he would go after sanctuary state policies much harder. And I still think going after the welfare state, the social safety net that's been created in sanctuary states for illegal immigrants, if you go after that whole apparatus, people will self-deport. I believe that will be more effective than mass deportations and rounding people up. I could be wrong about that, but I do think that'll be more effective. And I think just as much effort should be put into that, going after the sanctuary states so people will self-deport. But this has to be done as well. I mean, and I'll lose a lot of you libertarians on that one, but I am not an open borders libertarian. People say, you're not a real libertarian. It's like, okay, let's say I'm an open borders libertarian. What about when I want to go to Mexico? Do they have a border? Because the border goes both ways, right? It's not the door swings both ways. You need access going into other countries as well. Just because we say we have open borders doesn't mean other countries are just going to say, oh yeah, kumbaya, we're not going to have borders either. So it's just like a flawed principle. It's very similar to the real communism hasn't been done right yet. It's like real open borders hasn't been done right yet. It's just I don't buy into that whole commie gobbledygook sharefest crap.
Oh,
right, you guys get the picture. They looted a T-Mobile. Here's some more looting. This is from Nick's order. I think this is the Nike store. It's either the Nike or the Adidas store.
Part in this protest, or not taking part in the protest, but perhaps exploiting it for their own ends, like people you see here that are looting this store. They're stealing sneakers, and they're going to be selling them, and they're being caught on video from various locations.
Nothing will happen.
Both sides of the street, and so there's a good chance that their faces will be recognized, and that their little spree of theft will be rewarded with some accountability that will land them in jail.
I highly doubt it.
That is what is being promised by the chief, by the mayor, by the sheriff.
Empty promises.
That, people who take advantage, people who are involved in violence, vandalism, theft, will be held accountable. If not tonight, as the mayor just said, it will happen down the road.
Sure, it
Don't
will.
get away with it just because you haven't been arrested yet.
Sure, it will.
Part in the.
Let's keep going here. All right, I'm making good time. I'm only half hour in, so that's good. I'm trying to keep this to 90 minutes tonight. This is I think this is the same store that they were looting here. It's just a different angle, I believe, but this might actually be a different store.
You guys, they're looting. Can I get a new pair of shoes too? I'm not doing shit. Yo, grab me a shirt. No, I'm just kidding.
So just like the Sublime song says, it wasn't about Rodney King or this fucked up situation and these fucked up police. It's about coming up. It's about staying on top and screaming 187 on a motherfucking cop. That's all these things are about, is just coming up. They don't give a shit that people are being deported. These people that are looting here, they don't give a shit. That they could care less. If they're American citizens, they don't give a shit. They're just looting. They are opportunistic scumbags.
Man, let me just get a shirt up in here, dog. I'll watch you back. Yeah, I got you, bro. Hey, whoa, bike.
I think someone tried to steal his bike, like right in front of him.
He's like, I need all that. What the fuck? He's got Losses, Jordans. Bro, they're wild the fuck out here. The guys go to the cash register. Yeah, boys! I didn't even know.
All right, you guys get the picture. The LA budget is already screwed. They already have to lay off. They're taking money away from the LAPD and other services because they got like a, I don't know, $2 billion budget shortfall, something like that, something massive. Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for all the damages that are done during all these riots? Because I mean, it's not just the store. I mean, the WAYMO vehicles, which each one of those is like $80,000. Just 3 of them last night got burned to the ground. How much damage to this store? How much property loss? Oh, insurance is going to cover it. Like, it's Donald Trump's fault. Maybe they'll make Donald Trump pay for it. What do you guys think? You think they'll make Donald Trump pay for the property damages? Because it's his fault, right? That's what I'm hearing. Donald Trump inflamed tensions and told people to go loot. That's what happened. Here's them breaking the windows at the LAPD jailhouse. They go to the freaking precinct and actually start breaking the window. Like, I thought that they were going to throw fireworks in there and light the thing on fire like they did in Portland in 2020. So not that I advocate breaking windows, but I was told by a glass guy in construction that if you want to break one of these big windows, it actually isn't good to hit it right in the middle because the glass will flex a lot more. You want to hit it at the edge. That's more likely to break the window because the edge doesn't flex as much. So you notice the bigger windows are easier to break than the smaller windows because those don't give as much. Madness. So these are all scenes from the last two nights. All these clips that I have pulled up are all from the last two nights. This one's pretty gnarly. This is Fox News, a local Fox News station, talking to Elex Michelson, not Alex. He's actually one of the more fair reporters. He goes kind of soft on Gavin Newsom sometimes, but he pushes it just far enough to where he'll still get interviews. Because if you ask Gavin too difficult of questions or you make him look too bad, you'll never get another interview with him. So Alex has found a way to like sort of push it right up to that line, and he gets Gavin talking, and Gavin talks himself into his own corner. He ends up looking like an asshole. So Alex does a pretty good job of walking that line of, you know, maintaining his access to Gavin without completely kowtowing to him, because he does criticize Democrats. So I give him a hard time sometimes, but he seems like a pretty good dude. So I'll give him his credit. But this was happening live while he was talking, and he didn't even realize that it was a live scene.
Trump, calling him a stone-cold liar, saying that President Trump wants these images. I asked him, how do you negotiate with each other if that's what's happening and that's what you're saying about him? He said, there is no negotiating with him. I've tried everything. I asked him about the fact that he's asking for $40 billion from President Trump for California's wildfires. And he said, I'm doing everything I can. But there is real anger. And Newsom also saying that what Trump said publicly, which is that on a phone call the other night, that if Newsom didn't get things under control, he was going to bring in the troops. Newsom says that was a, quote, stone cold lie, that that's not what happened on the phone call between the two of them, that Donald Trump is making that up, and that they said he's making up other things, including the fact that the National Guard got things under control last night, hours before the National Guard even arrived. Mayor Bass with a message also that violence is not the answer, suggesting that a lot of the people, the anarchists that are fueling some of this, are actually playing into Donald Trump's hands and keeping this going. And that the best way for all of this to stop is for people to stop with some of this violence. They say there's a right for peaceful protest, but not a right for people in the middle of the streets doing some of what you're looking at right now.
So I was talking to Darren Stalkup, World Peace Movement over there on X. I was talking to him on the phone right before this started, and apparently he's planning on going down to LA this weekend. I think Scott Pressler's going to be down there. So I'm thinking about going down there, you guys. Maybe I'll see if Darren wants to carpool down there. Darren, if you're watching, let me know. If you guys are watching over on Rumble, drop something in the chat. You guys are being quiet over on Rumble. So, yeah, I'm thinking about going to LA this weekend, you guys. Wish me luck if I do.
Alex, as we keep you here for a moment, we're going to refer down to the live shot we're seeing here. An LAPD skirmish line is moving in here and moving that crowd off the top of the freeway where they've been raining those and throwing those rocks down onto the police vehicle, setting it on fire as well. So now you are seeing a show of force here as police now are on this level here, moving this crowd away. Maybe they can get them away enough that those vehicles can be cleared and the freeway can be reopened at some point to motorists in both directions. It's going to take some time, but you got to get those people out of there.
So this is the scene where they took over this overpass and they trapped the cops down there. This is the same scene that I showed earlier. Remember, the cops were all hiding under this underpass here, hitting the cops in the head with rocks.
They're going to continue to do the damage they're doing, and it really is a threat to the other motorists, the innocent people that are driving on the other side of the freeway.
Why the freeway is active.
Right. Who knows if a rock doesn't go in that direction and an innocent person is hit or hurt or killed. So right now we are watching police there move in. Alex, I don't know, is Alex still with us? Can we bring Alex back?
I'm still here, and I'm able to see the live pictures. I didn't know that those were live pictures that we're looking at right now. I mean, they're very dramatic. That what we're seeing right now on the freeway, and we see now the horses moving in, and that's part of what I asked both Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom. How do you can get control of this? Because it's clear that things are not under control, and that what's happening right now is not working. And they, said that the National Guard is inflaming this. I said to Mayor Bass, we're looking at right here, not the National Guard. I mean, this is LAPD. The National Guard is nowhere near this situation. And
see, and this is I know that seems pretty mild what he's saying right there. He's like, no, I told the mayor, this isn't the National Guard inflaming it. This is the LAPD. This is happening right now. I know it seems pretty mild, and that's like what a journalist should do. You got to understand how propagandistic the local news stations are here in California, both like KTVU Fox 2, which covers the Bay Area, and then KTLA, which covers LA, obviously. Alex is being pretty freaking balanced here, and it's just it's encouraging to see. That's all. It's nice that he's not just completely rolling over, and not even rolling over, but like running cover for these insane radical Democrats that are just trying to paint this narrative that this is all Trump's fault. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Trump. I mean, it probably wouldn't have happened if Trump wasn't in office, because they're not going to organize protests and make Joe Biden look bad. But they wouldn't have been organizing these protests if they weren't deporting illegal immigrants. How did the illegal immigrants get here? 10 million illegal immigrants over Biden's presidency, probably closer to 20, because those are just the ones that have been counted. The amount. I'll play a video in a minute that'll put in perspective how many illegal immigrants there are just in LA.
Clearly, this situation is out of control. They say the president is inflaming the situation, but this is not good, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. And as the sun starts to go down, Christine and Susan, oftentimes things get worse in LA before they get better. And so it is a concerning night right now as fireworks continue to go off.
Yeah, things usually get worse when the sun goes down. I think that's pretty well known. All right, so now we're to some of the clips from today. Like that was all stuff from Saturday and Sunday. Oh wow, my computer hasn't done that for a while. I'm gonna have to do this again. That's crazy. I lost screen share for a second there. My computer hasn't done that for a really long time. I wonder if my new MacBook needs an update. Because yes, that was why I didn't stream for like 3 months, because my MacBook, my old MacBook, the battery started swelling, like the chassis. It looked like it was about to explode. My buddy over at Clickaway in Santa Cruz, if you guys ever want to get a good deal on a computer repair, they do iPhone repairs. This is not a paid spot. I just really like the guy. He's awesome. Go over to Clickaway in Santa Cruz. They rebuild computers. They'll sell you rebuilt computers. They're just like an awesome little tech shop. Good guys over there at Clickaway in Santa Cruz. Anyway, he told me, stop using that computer. It looks like it's going to freaking explode. So that's why I didn't stream for like 3 months. This is my new one. But my old MacBook used to do this, where I would lose screen sharing all of a sudden. That's what just happened right now. All right, so we'll keep going here. So this is from today. This is from Anthony Cabasa. Happening now. Hundreds of protesters are currently gathered in front of the federal building where, for the first time, National Guard is being used in coordination with local law enforcement. How about that? Earlier reports confirm hundreds of U.S. Marines are en route to Los Angeles. I heard that might not necessarily be true, and they might just be going from one fort to the other. They're not actually going to L.A. I don't know. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong about that, has there been any you guys in the chat, has there been any verified Marines in LA yet? Has that been verified? I've heard a lot of different places reporting on it, like CNN was reporting on it, but Gavin Newsom seemed to refute the claim, which would be weird because they're like, now they're sending in the Marines. So I'm curious. Are the Marines actually going to LA? Look at all the freaking graffiti everywhere. That is insane. Broad daylight. It's that not peaceful. That's vandalism. That's all pretty. I mean, it's not good at all. And or world. No, like if I start cutting out or the video starts cutting out, let me know. You know I'm we
have 2 minutes until SWAT is deployed on us.
Yeah, Dave. Like, they're going to get. They're not going to. Trump's not going to give them any funds. Well, I got there, guys. Unbelievable. I apologize. Hopefully, you guys are still there. Back sharing. We're done with that clip anyway. Let's keep going here. Got a few more clips. So this is the crazy one with the paintballer that, well, yeah, he shoots a cop in the face with the paintball. Let me share my screen here since things are acting funny. Yeah, if my stream gets messed up, you guys let me know in the chat if it's just like choppy or just otherwise acting weird, just so I know. All right, so watch carefully. This looks like an Infiniti G35, the car. I could be wrong about what kind of car it is. But you can actually see, let me go to a larger view of this so you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. So you guys can actually see the barrel sticking out. I mean, you're a nutbag if you're driving around. How is a cop not supposed to know that? I mean, from where I'm at right now, like this angle that I'm looking at it, that looks like a long gun. That looks like the barrel of a rifle. How am I supposed to know that's a paintball gun? Like you're trying to get shot at that point. And there's the potential for something like that happening too. Some idiot has a paintball gun, cop thinks it's a real gun, lights him up. Like that is a scene that will turn this Mahanish. Oh, I miss you. Nice to see you. This is the type of scene that could make this whole thing absolutely explode. Is if like this exact thing, somebody has a paintball gun, cop thinks it's a real gun, opens fire on him, and then other cops open fire on him, they kill him, then they go over and they look and they realize it's just a paintball gun. Think about how the media and the California politicians are going to spin that. that's going to be a catalyst for this thing to get even bigger. More people to come out. You killed an innocent protester, and it's going to be live on camera. It'll be all over the place. Like, that's how this thing is such a powder keg right now. This is such a volatile situation. It's already bad enough. But if something crazy happens over the next week, 2 weeks, however long this lasts, there's the potential for this thing to go absolutely insane and go nationwide. If something like that happens, that's what happened with the George Floyd thing. You had, I mean, think about all the cities that are involved. You had Seattle, you had Portland, you had LA, obviously Minnesota, Chicago, San Francisco got pretty wild. Oakland got really wild. I mean, yeah, this thing is a powder keg right now. So here, just watch this video of you can see him just shoot. I believe this is a police vehicle next to him, and he shoots the cop. They're saying he shot him in the face. So there, frozen screen. You guys see the paintball gun. It's got the big giant hopper on top of it that's holding all the paintballs. Yeah. And I mean, if it didn't have that hopper on it, that would look like a real gun from this kinda. I mean, if you don't know firearms, that would look like a real gun. It looks like it has a magazine coming off of it. Danger, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, apparently he shot somebody right. Yeah, you guys get it. Pretty wild. All right. So that's like the clips. That's just like all the clips of the madness that was happening. That's what I want to get through most of those because I got like, this might end up going 2 hours, you guys. Because this other stuff's going to be a little more off in the weeds. We're going to talk about how this is being organized and sort of speculate if there's anything more behind this than just some organic protest because people are mad that there's mass deportation. So everybody on their own is just going out to LA and protesting on their own. They're not responding to ads. They're not getting hit up by organizations that fund these types of things. It's completely organic, right? Not so much. But before we talk about that, this is so fact check me on this. Ask Grok or G. In okay. No. Oh, am I frozen? Some technical difficulties again. Again, of course. All right. Refresh my screen. Stand by. All right, I apologize. Yeah, my computer. Oh, danger! The audio is cutting out. Oh, robot voice. Damn it! All right. Hopefully it stays stable here. It's pretty hot up here. My router might be getting hot. So, yeah, you guys know this is a budget show, and I'm out in the sticks. So this is we cross our fingers and hope it works over here. Wally World, it's better now. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, so this is from Wall Street Apes, and he said he fact-checked this. So Wall Street Apes says he fact-checked this, and it's true. You guys check on ChatGPT, check with Grok, Google it. Is 10% of the LA population really illegal immigrants? Because that's what this lady is saying right here.
So 1 in every 10 residents that live in LA are illegal immigrants. That's 1 million illegal immigrants in LA. In my opinion, if you allow that many illegals into one city, it's domestic terrorism. And of course they're going to mobilize. This is evidence of what we're seeing right now. And then you compound that issue with soft on crime policies and soft on crime legislators, mayors, governors. This is what you
District attorneys, city supervisors.
get. And this is exactly why we need law and order and we need closed borders. And do not be ashamed to say that you believe that we need to have legal immigration.
She's purdy. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is from, this is CNN. So let's see. Yeah, CNN's reporting that the Marines are being deployed. Again, I don't know the accuracy of that. You guys let me know in the chat if that has been verified yet. But CNN apparently says the Marines are being deployed.
We have breaking news now from the Pentagon. CNN can now report that roughly 500 Marines are being mobilized in response to the protests in Los Angeles.
And this is a significant escalation from President Trump, who had activated National Guard troops over the weekend without Governor Gavin Newsom's consent. In this new move, active duty military members are being deployed as a show of force against U.S. citizens. CNN's Natasha Bertrand is live for us at the Pentagon. Natasha, what are you learning?
Well, Brianna, this is something that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth had previewed over the weekend. He said that if necessary, he would deploy the Marines to Los Angeles to help federal agents with handling the protests there. And it appears now that these Marines, according to our sources, they have been mobilized. These 500 Marines, a full Marine battalion based out of 29 Palms, California, which is just outside San Bernardino, about an hour away from Los Angeles. They have been mobilized and they are gearing up to go and help ICE agents as well as other federal officials deal with these protests in Los Angeles. Importantly, they're going to be bolstering as well the National Guard, guardsmen and women who have been activated in Los Angeles by President Trump. But as you said, it is a significant escalation of the president's use of the military as a show of force against these protesters. It's really not clear, the last time Marines were deployed to help essentially with riot control, though it's unclear at this point just what their actual tasking will be. Typically, if they are deployed to these situations, it is expected that they will operate in much the same way that the National Guard does, doing things like perimeter security, maybe some crowd control. But the rules of engagement here, we are told, are still being finalized, and Defense Department lawyers are also looking at the kinds of rules of engagement these Marines will have as they encounter protesters, possibly on the streets of Los Angeles. But again, this coming at a very, very tense moment with the governor of California suing the Trump administration over, of course, the deployment of the National Guard by President Trump against his will there in California.
And all of these, not all, but a lot of the police organizations like the LAPD, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the leadership in charge of those police organizations are leftists. So they're not going to make Gavin look bad. They're not going to request the National Guard. They're just going to let shit burn and let shit get looted. So keep going here. So this is a statement from the Los Angeles police chief saying he's not going to help. So this is from Phil Holloway. So a statement by the chief of police, Jim McDonnell. Today, the LAPD became aware of the federal law enforcement agencies conducted activities in the city of Los Angeles. I'm aware that these actions cause anxiety for many Angelinos, so I want to make it clear. The LAPD is not involved with the civil immigration enforcement. Don't beat us up, gay guys. We're not deporting people. While the LAPD will continue to have a visible presence in all our communities to ensure public safety, we will not assist or participate in any sort of mass deportations, nor will the LAPD try to determine an individual's immigration status. So there it is. That's your sanctuary state policies in a nutshell right there. Since 1979, our policy has barred officers from initiating police action solely due to determine a person's immigration status. Yeah, but they'll arrest people and they won't even ask them if they're illegal immigrants. Well, people will commit crimes and they won't even ask them if they're illegal immigrants. And then if ICE asks them to detain the person, they won't always do it. Sometimes they do, but not always. The department remains focused on critical issues like crime reduction, enhancing public safety, and improving the quality of life for all Angelinos. Yeah, like how, never mind. I want everyone, including our immigrant community, to feel safe calling the police in their time of need, and I know that the LAPD will be there for you without regard to one's immigration status. Call us. We're not going to deport you. I think that policy is insane, personally. So then here's Jim McDonnell 10 seconds later, 10 minutes later. Then you have the same guy that made that statement is now saying this.
We saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable. We are overwhelmed.
So, I mean, my question for him would be, if you take somebody into custody for firing commercial grade fireworks at your officers, and then you determine that he's an illegal immigrant, well, first, are you even going to ask if they're an illegal immigrant? But if you do determine that he's an illegal immigrant, are you then going to hand him over to ICE, or are you just going to cut him back loose? The guy just fired on your officers, could have killed somebody. Are you going to turn him over to ICE if it's an illegal immigrant? That would be my question to Mr. Jim McDonnell here, who's so woke.
As far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing, they'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people. We've seen people with hammers, and you broadcasted breaking the bollards behind the federal building and taking the rocks, if you will, or pieces of concrete, and throwing them at officers. We've had liquid of who knows what description thrown at officers. There's no limit to what they're doing to our officers. And again, as I mentioned in my statement, I can't thank our folks enough and our partner agency police officials for going out there and taking care of the community.
So, same question. If you arrest somebody for throwing rocks at LAPD or federal officers and you catch them, you've determined their guilt. If you determine that they're an illegal immigrant, are you going to hand them over to ICE, or are you just going to make them serve their time or whatever and then just release them again? That would be my question for Mr. Jim McDonnell, LAPD police chief. What a turd. All right, so let's go to Gavin Newsom now. So first, this is from Bill Mulligan. He says, LAPD Chief McDonnell, same guy we just watched, when I asked if National Guard is needed, this thing has gotten out of control. Okay, there you go. So Chief McDonnell says that this thing has gotten out of control when he was asked about it. And then Gavin Newsom says, let's get this straight. Local law enforcement didn't need help. Really? Because the chief of the LAPD said it's gotten out of control. So Gavin Newsom, let's get this straight. Local law enforcement didn't need help. Trump sent troops anyway to manufacture chaos and violence. Trump succeeded. Now things are destabilized, and we want to send in more law enforcement just to clean up Trump's mess. The gaslighting is on another freaking level. Like, is he really trying to imply that if Trump wouldn't have sent in the National Guard, because ICE was already there. ICE is already there conducting their operations. That's how this whole thing started. The people are upset that ICE was conducting operations in LA. That's how this whole thing started. And then it turned into a riot. They started attacking ICE. They started attacking LAPD. Trump sends in the National Guard. Is he saying that rocks wouldn't have been thrown at LAPD, Molotov cocktails, fireworks wouldn't have happened if Trump didn't send in the National Guard? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that, folks. I don't know about you, but that's how Gavin Newsom is trying to spin this. Let's watch again. This is Tom Homan threatening to arrest. Tom Homan, border czar, threatened to arrest Gavin Newsom, and this is Gavin Newsom's response to it.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear.
Have they been here 10 years, though, Gavin? Because how many illegal immigrants came into California just during the Biden administration?
Horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is that.
Doesn't this seem like bad acting to you guys, like a B movie? And he's on stage or he's in front of the camera and he's like, oh no, let's cut that, let's do it over. Like that's the vibe I get from Gavin Newsom. That whole thing just seemed completely fake. Like, guy is unbelievable. Let's keep going. Let's go over to Karen Bass now. Let's see how she's spinning this whole thing. So LA Mayor, this is from Lives of TikTok, says LA Mayor Karen Bass promises protect illegals in her city. Obstructing or impeding ICE operations is a crime. Let's see.
We are going to fight for all Angelenos, regardless of when they got here, whether they have papers or not. We are a city of immigrants, and this impacts hundreds of thousands of Angelenos. We are going to.
I hate the term Angelenos. It's so freaking annoying. Bob Tiergarten, this whole thing didn't start with ICE. It started when Democrats facilitated tens of millions of foreign invaders who didn't speak the language and share the culture to become children supported by the government. Yep, 100% agree. Like this, they created this crisis by having open border policies, sanctuary state policies, and having a social safety net for illegal immigrants, free healthcare. Again, I talk about it all the time. You can essentially you can have any job in California if you're an illegal immigrant, essentially any job. And remember, in California, non-citizens are allowed to be police officers. They say you need to be legally allowed to work in the United States, but like, what does that mean? And there's DACA recipients, the dreamers, the ones that are illegal immigrants, but they're brought here as children, so it's not really their fault. They're allowed to become police officers. So I don't know. It's Karen Bass talking about she's going to protect illegal immigrants, essentially. So this is from Corey A. DeAngelis, school choice evangelist. He says the left is planning a rise up. Yeah, that's the one of the organizations. Rise up all across the country. Sorry, on June 14th. That's Saturday. They call it a nationwide day of defiance. Randy Weingarten is behind it. Randy Weingarten. Okay. He's not the only person behind it. We'll keep going here. This is from Lauren Powell. This is kind of a longer one, but I'm going to read it anyway. She did a long post on this. So, all right. So Laura Powell says, if you are a California, the current, I think she meant to say if you are a Californian. Oh yeah, sorry, she did say it. If you are a Californian, the current LA riots are an example of your tax dollars' hard work. The Coalition for Human Rights, CHIRLA, is one of the key players in fomenting the violent response to immigration enforcement actions. It's an LA-based nonprofit with the history of taking radical positions on immigration. For example, it led the 2018 campaign to abolish ICE. It currently leads the Los Angeles Rapid Response Network, which it gathers intel about enforcement actions and deploys activists to respond. So that's what happened. Somehow the ICE operations got leaked, and then people were deployed to those operations. That's where you see like ICE is conducting raids, and then for some reason there's like hundreds of protesters outside of those raids. It's like, how did these protesters know these raids were going to happen unless somebody leaked that information? So the CHIRLA has strong ties to the Democratic Party in California and has supported the election of Democratic candidates through its lobbying arm. It has a particularly close relationship with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. The organization also has a close relationship with organized state unions, which in turn is a major financial supporter of Democrat politicians. On Friday, amid rising tensions, CHIRLA held a rally protesting ICE's enforcement actions and the arrest of the SEIU president, David Huerta, for obstruction. The incredible part is that the CHIRLA's activities are primarily funded by California taxpayers. I obtained a financial audit that shows for the fiscal year ending 2023, it received $34 million from the state. So this organization that organizes direct action protests against ICE raids received $34 million of taxpayer money in 2023. Directly, like this is the sanctuary state at work right there. Mostly through the Department of Social Services, according to 72% of its total revenue. This was nearly a threefold increase over the previous year. CHIRLA also received $450,000 in federal contracts in 2023, which Mayor Karen Bass publicly took credit for helping secure. DHS froze funding in February, which prompted a lawsuit from CHIRLA. DHA then canceled the contract, and the lawsuit was then dismissed. Eisenhower warned the military-industrial complex. Now we face a nonprofit industrial complex. Oh, I like what you did there, Laura. Yeah, that was nice. Eisenhower warned of a military-industrial complex. Now we have a nonprofit industrial complex. And she brought the receipts. So, yeah, these are the payments. So, like, what does this one show? So, City of Palmdale. Oh, she's put a list of phone numbers there. Let's see. Okay, so grants and donations, government contracts, special events, other revenue, dividends and interest, realized and unrealized net gain loss on investments, realized and temporary restricted net assets. So, yeah, 44 million. Total is 44 million there. Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, a nonprofit organization, consolidated statement of activities, including changes in net assets. And this is from June 30th, 2023. $44 million. Closer to $45 million. So there it is. Your taxpayer dollars at work, folks, funding this kind of crap. And that's just one of these nonprofits that are organizing these things, because they're not alone. They're not the only ones doing this stuff. So this is a video that I came across that I don't disagree with what he's saying. This is a former police officer just sort of giving his 2 cents on what he thinks is happening with all of this and how it's a trap. Danger. Randy Weingarten is the head of a teachers union. Interesting. Yeah, teachers unions are the freaking worst too. My friend is a teacher. I won't say what district she's in, but she refused to join the teachers union. So she was forced to be a substitute teacher for like 3 years. She had her teaching credential, had all of that, but they wouldn't allow her to be a teacher because she refused to join the teachers union. Because you don't have to join the teachers union, but they will make your life hell if you don't.
All right, so let me explain what I believe is happening and why they want you in a civil war. So in the next couple weeks, these are being planned right now, very well funded, very well organized. At a city near you, we're going to have a riot. It's not just protests, full-on riots. And if you watch this video, what's happening? Why aren't the police doing anything? Why aren't they stopping and arresting these people? Well, most of these agencies where these riots are happening are liberal-led agencies. They are, in my belief, telling them to stand down. Why? Why are they dropping off bricks? Everywhere across America, they're dropping off these pallets of bricks. Why?
Now, this particular clip that he's showing right here, this is in a Home Depot parking lot. This is in Paramount, California. Because I already started asking people on the internet where this is, and somebody got on Google Earth. It turned into a crowdsourced thing. But these are retaining wall blocks at a Home Depot, and this more seemed like a crime of opportunity that those weren't like delivered to a protest site. But the point remains, it's not like bricks aren't being dropped off in strange locations.
Because they want to get violent and the police won't do anything. So then what? Patriots like you and I, it'll make us want to go in and fight. Don't do it. It is a trap. They're trying to suck us in so that all the patriots are going to go, and then we're going marching right into their trap for the civil war that they want. So what's the answer as hell breaks loose and violence ensues throughout these cities? Are we going to go save their cities? They're already gone. So get a food storage, get right with God, get out of major cities when it starts getting bad. Do not fight with these people. That's exactly what they want. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. I promise you.
And I mean, with that being said, you already got people like Laura Loomer. They're like, we got to deploy Palantir in Los Angeles to identify these rioters and, you know, create a super surveillance state in the name of the greater good. That's what Laura Loomer wants to do. She wants to use Palantir tech to do it. Do you really think that technology isn't going to be aimed at the people that come in to do counter protesting? You know, the conservatives, the patriots. If they get sucked into this, it's going to be aimed at them. It's not going to be aimed at these protesters. We already saw what happened on January 6th, where they tracked down grandma that just happened to be in DC that weekend, and the FBI shows up on their doorstep. Same shit's going to happen. So yeah, apparently, somebody said that there's like a caravan that's getting ready to go to LA, you know, but I don't know how true that is. But if there is something like that planned, why go to LA? Like, LA is a leftist hellhole. Let them destroy their own city if they want. Don't go in there. Whether it's a trap or not, it's just why. What do you have to gain from it? You have absolutely nothing to gain from it. And even though I talked about going to LA this weekend, I'm not going there to counter protest. If I go there, I just kind of want to check stuff out because it's going to get wild. So I just want to get some footage, get on the ground, see it with my own eyes. I'm not going to go there to counter protest. So that is the last thing people should do, is go in and try to battle with these Antifa retards. All right, let's keep going here. So this is again Karen Bass on TV saying things are going well because people are literally working in the same room together. Okay, let's listen to what Karen Bass has to say.
Officers. And then, you know, of course, you have LAPD. So I think actually the communication and collaboration has been good. I was at the command center most of the day today, and, you know, people are literally working in the same room together. The CHP is there, the Federal Protective Services are there, the National Guard wasn't there, but everybody is in communication. And I think that that's why things have gone well. I mean, you haven't seen massive violence.
What? Things have gone well, and you haven't seen massive violence. Okay. I spent 50 minutes playing massive violence for you guys. Karen's out of her freaking mind.
Take place. You haven't seen, you know, police officers engaging in a violent manner with people. There have definitely been some isolated incidences. But, you know, someone had made a comparison to what had happened in LA in the past. It's just very important to realize that this is happening on a few streets in downtown LA. This is not citywide. This is not massive civil unrest. And obviously, I don't ever want to see that happen in our city again, which is why we have to be very aggressive now and send a very clear message that vandalism will not be tolerated.
And
you know, so she is actually kind of right with that last part. It's not just a few streets. It's bigger than she's saying it is, but it is isolated. This isn't like 92 where it's spread out to the greater Los Angeles area and, you know, into smaller communities and stuff like that. And she's also right saying that it needs to be contained now because it does have the potential to spill over into a wider area. So I will agree with her with that last part. I completely disagree with her about saying how things have went well and there hasn't been mass violence. Nicole Bull, technocratic lockdowns does not solve this. Absolutely right. Again, Nicole Bull over on X. Thanks you for all your work, Michael. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I like it. Wish I had more time to hang out with you. Hope to meet you in person sometime soon. That would be nice. I'm attending Freedom Fest this weekend. I didn't even know Freedom Fest was this weekend. Where is Freedom Fest? If you're still in the chat. And that's the libertarian thing, right? Oh, no. Yeah, what is Freedom Fest? I'm confused. I've heard of it before, but I can't. There's so many of these different things, so I'm not sure exactly what Freedom Fest is. All right, so this is from David Ameti. He says, hey, Gavin Newsom, in March of 2019, you said the Trump administration was manufacturing the border crisis with intentionality. Turns out the border crisis was real and worsened under Biden. So do you really expect anyone to believe you when you say the Newsom riots were manufactured? It's good point, doctor.
Here are the facts. Last year, we had the 5th lowest illegal border crossings since 1973 in 46 years. The 5th lowest in 46 years. The crisis is nothing more than legal asylum seekers coming through the border, a crisis that is not just manufactured in the...
Nothing more than legal asylum seekers, you guys. So all those boats that are flying up on San Diego beaches with, 20 people pouring out from them and then going off into neighborhoods. There's no drug smuggling going on. There's no human trafficking going on. You're just asylum seekers, you guys.
The context of the larger issue, but is substantively manufactured with intentionality by the Trump administration that is metering those crossings, doing nothing to help support these people, and actually creating the conditions that they're condemning. This is a farce. It's political theater, and the fact is California is not going to play part of that. Now, how do I make that an argument that can attach itself
leading by
to
example
Trump
in a different way is one thing.
administration's tough.
Confronting them, defeating them in argument, winning the battle, winning the war of ideas around this stuff is something in addition to that.
Yeah, no, it's it. And look, so that's the separate question. It's a more challenging question.
Yeah.
You can intellectualize it, use with facts, but then you've got a guy who uses emotion. And he knows the vulnerabilities of his base, and he exploits them every single day. And the politics is, it's pretty, it's not particularly novel. It's about fear, anger. It's a golden oldie. And it's an old saw, and he plays it very, very well. We've got to push back with facts, but we also have to push back with positive alternatives.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think our state's that.
Every word that comes out of Gavin Newsom's mouth is bullshit. Every last freaking word. All right, so this is from the Glendale Police Department, and apparently, so city officials announced Sunday night that Glendale has terminated its contracts with the United States Homeland Security and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to house immigration detainees, calling the public's perception of the agreement divisive. So Glendale, because of all this stuff, they're just like, we're not going to detain ICE people anymore. It's like, I'm surprised you were doing it in the first place. But yeah, so Glendale isn't like LA. Glendale has a much more conservative population, but it just goes to show that these police organizations, the leadership, are all woke leftists. That's who runs these departments. Keep going here. So this is from Kate Sanchez. So she says, Governor Newsom is fundraising off the LA riots over illegal immigration, all while refusing to accept from the National Guard. This is unconscionable, she says. So she shares this screenshot. And this screenshot reads, to all the people of Los Angeles and across the country who are protesting these immigration raids, don't give them the spectacle they want. Never use violence. Speak out peacefully and in large numbers. I know many of you have been watching the news about this, so I thought it important to reach out. Thank you for reading, Gavin Newsom. And then under that it says, to my fellow Democrats, don't scroll past this. Before you go, we are humbly asking you to support Gavin Newsom's campaign for democracy with a contribution. If you believe Democrats need to go on the offense, even in the red states, we're asking you to donate $20 to help Gavin Newsom get it done. It's $20, guys. You guys going to give Gavin Newsom $20? Doesn't he need it? Help the cause, you guys. Yeah. So that's it. Oh, and then they got a link here. There's a button where you can just contribute $20, and then another button for contribute other. Because you guys, you can donate more than $20 if you want to Gavin Newsom's crusade. You can do that. You guys going to do that? You guys going to donate $20 to Gavin Newsom? I'm not. I'm definitely not. All right, let's go over to Nicole Shanahan. She says she does not seem off base when she says this stuff. So Nicole Shanahan, who, if you guys remember, she was I think she was married to the former CEO of Google, and she was RFK's running mate. She was his pick for VP when he was running. So. And she contributed she's part of the MAGA movement. She contributed to Trump's campaign once RFK endorsed Trump. So she says, I smell, do I got this pulled up? Here, let me share it. Sorry. She says, what's going on here? Oh, man. Did I not even play that last video? I don't think I even had it pulled up. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So Nicole Shanahan, I smell CIA/deep state all over this. Sanctuary cities like LA strategically encourage erratic and violent migrants to seek refuge and are now using them to violently attack federal law enforcement officers. They have no respect for our laws. They use our entitlements and they destroy our cities. This will be the fate of all sanctuary cities if we let this madness continue. Foreigners who live in your land will gain more power while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, but will have none. They will have money to lend you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers. And that's a quote. That's Duet 2843-45. These words were written thousands of years ago and still hold true today. Newsom and Bass want this altercation with Trump. They will trade a city on fire for it if it means they can score political points. Meanwhile, California suffers. Will we ever wake up from this nightmare? Yeah, she's spot on. Spot on there. They want this. At the same time, they're pointing at Trump saying he wants this. This would have happened whether or not Trump said in the National Guard or not. So this was posted by Elex Michelson. So he says, Elex Michelson was that journalist I played earlier. I can't remember what news organization he works for, but he says, breaking, we just saw. So, and this is a mainstream news guy reporting this. This isn't it's like a left-leaning mainstream news guy reporting this. He says, we just saw people arrive in downtown LA with truckloads of bionic face shields that demonstrators quickly grabbed. It certainly seems like gear you'd wear if you were preparing for conflict with police. Who is funding this, he asks. So these are the face shields, which are not cheap. Like, how much do you guys think these cost? These are, I mean, they're not crazy expensive, but they're probably between $60 and $100 each. And they're just handing them out. A truck full of these arrived. They're handing them out to demonstrators. Isn't that weird? Why do the demonstrators need face shields, you guys? Uvex Bionic Face Shield. So recommended for machinists and auto body shops, lightweight, ratcheting headgear, anti-fog, anti-scratch, polycarbonate face shield. Yeah, these are the good ones. These are the expensive ones. They're just handing them out. Crazy. So, Lonnie, if you're still watching, this is when the Indivisible stuff came across my feed. I posted saying, my conspiracy theory of the day, the madness in LA was organized and funded by California political leaders. And she says, you are correct. This is coordinated and connected to Indivisible, the central hub for the Democrat socialist terrorists who are also behind the Tesla takeovers. And I sent you that earlier too, Lonnie. Hands off and planning the June 14th protests. Yeah, so this next weekend is probably going to get even more wild in LA and probably in other cities throughout the country. They get the useful idiots out on the street, and there's a lot of small subgroups involved under the main ones. Indivisible, the Disruption Project, etc. It's all coordinated and paid for. And this is from Shasta Rain over there on the X platform. If you guys want to follow her, that's at BPL_RAYNE. If you want to give her a follow, she's a cool chick. All right, so she posted a screenshot of their Instagram. So this is from Vote In or Out. On June 6th, 2025, Los Angeles experienced a series of aggressive immigration raids organized by a coalition including Indivisible, 50501, and other pro-democracy groups that the protests aim to counter what they view as well, it cuts off there and it goes to the next one. On June 6, 2025, Los Angeles experienced a series of aggressive immigration raids conducted by federal agencies, including ICE, DHS, and the FBI. These operations targeted various locations, such as Home Depot stores, Ambience Apparel in the Fashion District, and a donut shop. The raids were executed with military-style tactics involving agents in tactical gear using flashbang grenades and pepper spray to disperse the crowds. At least 44 individuals were arrested for immigration violations, with reports suggesting the actual number could be higher. The action sparked immediate protests, with hundreds gathering outside the Edward R. Roybal Federal Building. where detainees were held. Protesters attempted to block the federal vehicles, leading to confrontations with law enforcement, who responded with their tear gas. All right. And then this is from same organization, Vote In or Out. This is you guys see this here. It's not very big. It says the No Kings mass protest on June 14th, 2025. And that's all over the country. There's one in San Francisco. There's one in San Francisco at Dolores Park, one in San Jose at St. James Park, and then there's one in Santa Cruz over at Harvey J. West. Now, speaking with Darren Stahl on the phone earlier today, he says that those are typically like smaller gatherings, smaller organization things that happen at a park, but this one seems to be different. This one seems to be much more of a highly funded, highly organized, multi-pronged protest where it's not just this one organization, Indivisible. There's other organizations involved as well. So this is Vote In or Out. This is our Substack, Organizing Resistance, Indivisible, nationwide network of local groups focused on resisting authoritarianism through civic action. They are the authoritarians. That's the thing. They are the freaking authoritarians. So on that same note, here's a clip of this lady talking about she saw an ad on Craigslist for protesters. So this is from Shipwreck Show. Craigslist ad for LA riots and nokings.org funding. Follow the money. It's all a show for destabilizing the administration while simultaneously, possibly, could he use to push Palantir Tech and BBB. I don't know what BBB is. Stay diligent. So yeah, like, and you know that, so that's the thing too. So Trump's in office now. Yeah, he put Kash Patel and Dan Bongino in charge. All the same people at the CIA and the FBI are still there. Like, they didn't do mass layoffs from the FBI and the CIA. So all the same people that were trying to subvert him in his first administration are still there. They're going to fund both sides. They want chaos in the streets. The worse it gets in the streets, the worse it gets for us, the better it gets for them. The more of an opportunity they're going to have to say, we need more power. We need more control. We need more surveillance. We need a surveillance state. We need Palantir. That's what this is all about. They want us feuding in the streets over dumb shit. They want the chaos. The deep state wants the chaos. They don't care if the left is winning or if the right's winning. All that matters is that there's chaos. That's what they want. And that's what this is all about.
I'm going to do this and then I'm going to go make strawberry scones. But when we talked about how this thing that was going on in Los Angeles was paid agitators, this is what I meant. I remember back when the Black Lives Matter riots were happening as well. They had very similar Craigslist ads looking for the toughest badasses in the city of Los Angeles, seeking extremely tough, brave men for a new crew on building. Compensation is $6,500 to $125,000 per week. Get paid every week, no matter what. Physical strength needed, mental toughness, ready for confrontation when necessary. However, we train you if necessary. Bravery, reliability, strength, team discipline. They'd like you to have military experience, but if you're a Marine, then they do not want you in their group because it's apparently a long story. Job title is listed as operator, and there's no experience required, and it's contracted work. And they were looking in the greater Los Angeles area. Obviously, they're not going to tell you exactly what it's for and wait for you to call and then explain it. This is what happened during the Black Lives Matter riots is they would put out these Craigslist ads and then all these people would call and then they would recruit all these people to go be agitators at these events. They would turn what was initially a peaceful protest of just marching into a full-blown riot. And that's the very same thing that's happening here. Who can afford that kind of bankroll? Well, nokings.org can. Apparently, this whole thing has been planned for a really long time. They're trying to get more in different days on different states. Specifically, June 14th seems to be a pretty big hot button. They're looking at Phoenix, Atlanta, and a handful of other major cities. You can go to the map on the website and just take a look. Here's some of the organizations that they're working with, and there's a lot of them, but I'm going to go through a couple. There's Bend the Arc, which is Jewish Action. Bernie Sanders, which I don't know. Americans United, Blue Anchor, Cast, Demlist, Families Over Billionaires, Faithful America, Fair Share America, Face the Music, Federal Workers Against Doge, Fun Federal Unionist Network, The Feminist Majority, Bulletproof Pride, Catholics Vote Common Good, Care in Action, Center for Common Ground. I mean, there's tons of them. That's who's paying for it. This has been in the works for a really long time. That should be really nothing new to you. But here's what I will say, okay, with all the paid agitators and all the things going on, there are going to be very real people who believe this is a very real march for justice activists that are going to be boots on the ground down there thinking that they're doing something. So if you, your family, your friends are thinking about getting together and heading down there and sticking it to the man, don't. Because all of those paid agitators, they have protection, right? They'll get lawyers, they'll get bailed out of jail. But guess who won't? You won't. You will not. You will be left on your own. Here's to hoping you learned the first time with the BLM stuff. Don't do it. Don't ruin your life. Don't ruin your life over this. Don't ruin your job opportunities over this. Don't do it. This is all staged. It's all orchestrated. It's all political. All right, I gotta go. We'll see you later.
She's on point, but she just verified for me that I do not want to get the Elgato mic because that thing didn't sound good. My mic doesn't sound great either, but that's because I don't have a mixer and I need a mixer. All right, let's keep going here. So this is the Indivisible website here. So we fight on together. So this is it. So no King's Day of Action on June 14th as Trump throws himself a lavish military parade in D.C. We're going to be rising up with protests all across the country. Join us to reject Trump's authoritarian vision and to show the wannabe king what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like, you guys. This is from their own website. This is all the protests they have planned. Lots of them in the Bay Area here. Probably in Sacramento as well, down in LA. Look at all the ones over in Southern California. Looks like they got some in San Luis Obispo area, all across the East Coast. Like nothing in Nevada. It's because there is nothing in Nevada. Jeez, it's a real thing, you guys. This is like, it's all orchestrated, all well funded. This is not organic. Don't let them fool you. This is all a freaking show. It's all a charade. Multiple organizations involved in promoting it and funding it all have their own particular reasons for they want it to happen. But the biggest thing they want is for us to be fighting each other in the streets and creating chaos so they can create more of a surveillance state. That seems to be what the ultimate goal is. So, yep, I think that's what I got for the night. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Yeah, Bob, I want that Shure mic for sure. It's like $400, the one that I want. And then I want a Rodecaster, and that's like $700. Then I need some external hard drives, which are like $200 each, the ones that I want. Yeah, this stuff's expensive. And on that note, if you guys made it all the way to the end, I am non-funded on YouTube. I've made like $200 in 2 years on Rumble since I've done this. So this is all pre-monetization. So if you guys want to subscribe, share the show, that's how it grows. Maybe someday this will be my career. Right now, I'm just doing it for funsies. I don't get paid for this. Even X, I get like $80 every 2 weeks. You know, it helps though. I'm not complaining, but I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I actually want to shed light on the madness going on in California and in other parts of the world and other parts of the country. So if you guys would share, like, repost, subscribe, all those good things greatly helps my platform. And that's what I got for the night. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. We got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. What do we have this evening? Bob Tiergarden, Nicole Bull, Danger, Northside. I didn't see you till now. Nice to see you. Wally World, all you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you back here next Sunday, possibly earlier if something crazy happens. Oh, I've read that one before. Okay, this is funny, and it's kind of on point with the craziness that's going on in California. Chuck Norris will never fully be male nor female. Doctors once asked him which he preferred. He gave them an ad for Total Gym. And on that, stay CaliBased.